Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving right into the incredibly fast-paced world of EV infrastructure. We're going to shift our focus from those everyday driver worries we all know to the massive global industry solutions that are literally rewriting how we power transportation. Because look, it's the ultimate fear for any new or prospective EV owner, right? Getting stranded on a long stretch of highway or maybe stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, staring at a dead battery with absolutely nowhere to plug in. And honestly, this number right here tells you exactly where that fear comes from, 29 to 1. Current industry data shows there are 29 electric vehicles for every single public charging port in the US. That density gap? Yeah, that's the hurdle keeping so many buyers on the fence. So here is our roadmap for how the industry is tackling this gap today. We're going to cover the range anxiety reality, charging on the go, fixing public infrastructure, charging as a service, and finally, the future of EV power. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the range anxiety reality. This is that micro-level problem practically every EV driver has sweat over at some point. You know the feeling. You're in dense traffic, watching that battery gauge slowly tick down. The AC is blasting, and you're just praying the next exit has a working charger. This very real fear of getting stranded is still the #1 barrier stopping consumers from going electric. And hey, it's not just city traffic either. When you venture into remote or rural areas, inadequate public charging creates a massive reliability gap. This gap is exactly what's forcing everyone, from individual daily commuters to massive commercial fleets, to seek out bulletproof backup solutions. You just can't always cross your fingers and hope for a fixed station. Which brings us to Section 2, charging on the go. This is where the industry is making a huge pivot to bring the power directly to the vehicle itself. We're talking about a total philosophy shift here. Instead of forcing you to hunt down a plug, the industry is figuring out how to bring the plug to you. Think about it. Stationary charging requires permanent installations and huge upfront capital. But mobile solutions? That means on-demand energy delivery completely untethered from a fixed grid. A perfect example for everyday drivers is AAA. They are tackling range anxiety head-on by deploying these specialized mobile charging trucks in 16 major U.S. cities. If you get stranded, they roll up and give you just enough juice to get safely home or to a nearby station. And the best part? It's provided at no extra charge for members. It's essentially roadside assistance completely leveled up for the EV era. Now, on the commercial side, companies like L-Charge are taking this concept to the absolute extreme. They are literally building massive 60-kilowatt fast chargers straight into heavy-duty service trucks, like Ford 250s through 550s. These things operate entirely off-grid using the truck's engine, acting as fully mobile, high-powered rescue stations to keep commercial fleets moving. But look, mobile charging is really only half the battle. Let's move to Section 3, fixing public infrastructure, to see what's happening with traditional stationary stations. You've probably seen a ton of scary headlines about broken chargers, right? Well, recent JD Power data paints a surprisingly different picture. They're actually showing a clear improvement in the reliability and success of public charging across the board. Drivers are showing up and having a significantly higher success rate actually getting plugged in and powered up. And digging into that data reveals something fascinating. Tesla's historically closed supercharger network and other automaker-operated networks like those from Mercedes and Rivian are actually tied for the highest customer satisfaction score at 709. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Manufacturer-backed ecosystems are establishing the playbook and aggressively driving industry reliability upward. All right, Section 4, charging as a service. We've talked about consumers. Now let's zoom way out to see how massive industrial operations handle these exact same challenges. Imagine trying to run a delivery fleet of hundreds of electric vans, or even a city bus network. You absolutely cannot gamble on public chargers. Commercial fleets demand rock-solid, predictable charging and centralized management, and that is exactly why operators are turning away from public grids and building out dedicated depot solutions. This has sparked a massive structural shift known as CaaS, or Charging as a Service. Instead of buying all the expensive physical hardware themselves, companies are buying charging access as a monthly software and service package. It completely shifts the burden of ownership, installation, and maintenance to a specialized third-party provider. So why is this so popular? Well, by using CaaS, logistics providers and municipal fleets guarantee their vehicle uptime. They get predictable pay-per-use billing, predictive maintenance, and smart energy software, all without those staggering upfront capital costs. It takes a massive, complex hardware headache and turns it into a simple, seamless operational expense. And man, the data shows this transition happening at lightning speed. According to Future Market Insights, the CAS market is projected to explode from $2.6 billion today to nearly $17 billion over the next decade. To put that into perspective, that is an astonishing compound annual growth rate of over 20%. And keep in mind, fleet electrification is the absolute heavyweight in this booming market, making up a massive 42% of the pie. These commercial heavy-duty operations are truly the engine driving the entire charging infrastructure revolution right now. So, pulling all this together, where does this wave of consumer and commercial innovation actually leave us? Let's wrap up with Section 5, the future of EV power. We are progressing through these steps incredibly fast. We've already gone from simple roadside rescue cables to massive off-grid power trucks pushing out up to 500 kilowatts. And now, we are looking at things like the Ion Dynamics Flashbot. Get this, it's a robot that autonomously navigates a parking lot, locates your car, and charges it up while you're inside grabbing groceries. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. Which really leaves us with this final, fascinating question to chew on. If charging becomes a smart, subscription-based service that literally drives itself to our vehicles wherever we are we even going to need traditional gas stations in the future? The EV ecosystem is completely rewriting the roles of transportation, and it is going to be wild to watch. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this gave you some cool new insights into the road ahead.